Our choice for children's literature was Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Goldilocks went out for a walk. She came upon the three bears' home. Feeling hungry and oh so tired, she was all alone.
Goldilocks and the Three Bears is one of the most famous stories for children of all times. I believe everyone has already heard of this story at least once. However, many of us never stopped to carefully analyze it. Unlike most literary pieces, in Goldilocks and the Three Bears, the young girl is the villain. The girl not only breaks into the bear's house, but also eats the baby bear's food, breaks his chair, and sleeps on his bed. Our damsel in distress, also known as Baby Bear, is saved by the Papa Bear, our strong and brave hero. Besides showing common archetypal characters, this story also talks about a common human concern, which is also considered one of the 7 capital sins: jealousy. Although Goldilocks has everything she needs, she still decides to take the bear's food, chair, and bed. And for classic literature, it was Little Red Riding Hood, written by the Grimm brothers.
Mother said straight ahead, not to delay or be misled. I should have heeded her advice, but he seemed so nice.
Little Red Riding Hood is a fairy tale about a young girl and a big bad wolf. In this story, we can notice a lot of classic archetypal characters. For example, Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother are both damsels in distress. They are eaten by the big bad wolf, who is the villain, and are saved by the huntsman, who is the hero. Also, Little Red Riding Hood's mother can be considered a mentor. She gives important advice to her daughter about not talking to strangers. At first, the young girl doesn't do as her mother said, and she ends up being eaten by the wolf. After being saved, we notice a completely different behavior from the protagonist. Instead of talking to the big bad wolf, she ignores him. That way, we conclude that she moved from innocence to experience.
Our choice of literature from the past decade is Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Written in 2006, the second book of the series tells the story of Percy Jackson, a 13-year-old demigod. He and his friends go on a quest for trying to find the Golden Fleece, the only thing that can cure the tree that protects Camp Half-Blood, which is their training facility. They face many challenges along the way, and have to defeat the monster of the Sea of Monsters, which almost kills them. Throughout all the books, we can see that Percy fits the archetypal hero on a quest character. Even though the monster is stronger and bigger than them, he is able to defeat him. Yes, the book follows the Greek mythological universe, and that was created by the author, Rick Riordan, who had the idea while telling his son a bedtime story. He used to be a teacher, and this type of literature was a common subject for his classes. After telling all the already known myths to Haley, his son, he asked him to create new characters, and that's where Percy Jackson came from. The effect was the entire background of the book series, the main characters that are demigods, sons of a god and a mortal, and also setting, plot, and theme that were affected.
Our choice of film was The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King.
Oh, misty eye of the mountain below, keep careful watch of my brother's souls.
This is the last movie of the trilogy directed by Peter Jackson, based on a novel written by J.R.R. Tolkien. It shows the final events of the long journey of Frodo Baggins and Sam Gamgee in their way to destroy the One Ring, the strongest of the Rings of Power. The monster in this film is the Dark Lord Sauron. In the past, Sauron seduced the Elves in order to create the Rings of Power in the forges of Celebrimbor, and he gave them to the Elf Kings, the Dwarf Lords, and the leader of the men. However, he had secretly made the One Ring that could dominate the other rings and make their owners his slaves. But to forge his ring, he had to transfer a part of his power into the ring, making it a part of himself. This story tells the adventures of the hobbit called Frodo and the Fellowship of the Ring, in their way to stop Sauron and destroy the ring once for all. They could only destroy it in the flames of Mordor, the center of the Dark Lord's realm and where the rings was forged. But to get there, they had to battle with many creatures, like orcs and Gollum, a hobbit who succumbed to the power of the ring. After it was destroyed, the Dark Lord was defeated and Mordor crumbles. The character we chose is Gandalf, the Grey, later known as Gandalf the White. He is a mage sent to the Middle-earth to combat Sauron in the Second Era. He is a Maiar, an immortal near primordial spirit who took a mortal body to defend the Middle-earth. He is portrayed as a wise old man and mentor, guiding the Fellowship in their journey.
Finally, our choice, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The story reports Miles Morales as the protagonist. He just got bitten by a radioactive spider. Meanwhile, Kingpin, the villain, creates a machine that allows the parallel universe that contain other Spider-Man and Spider-Woman to collide. Then all the Spider People team up to overcome the evil monster. Although the film is mostly hilarious, it isn't afraid of getting serious either. Miles is being forced to go to a fancy school which he doesn't feel comfortable in, and he has a very difficult relationship with his dad. The character we've chosen is Peter Parker. For us that had ever saw Peter Parker at his peak, on this movie we can see him at decadence. He just divorced Mary Jane, he's older than usual, and he's very melancholic. He can be seen as the hero, of course, because he recomposes himself and combats Kingpin. However, Peter can be seen as Miles' mentor. He teaches Miles, who just turned Spider-Man. The reason why Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is our choice is because Spider-Man is a very real character. He is a hero with a lot of real concerns. And Stan Lee always said the big objective of putting Spider-Man with a mask is because everybody could be Spider-Man, literally.